This show is about complex relationships and the ins and outs that we deal with everyday friendships, husband-wife, husband-husband. What was it that initially drew you to this role? And I was talking with Tracey and Lang before this, and they said that you kept coming back to, we need to do something like the Four Seasons. And then finally it came to, maybe we should just do the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
And it worked so well. What was it for you about adapting?
I just always thought the movie was so kind of well observed, and I loved how, especially like a lot of the comedies that we've written are just like high speed, high joke density they inevitably like become absurd and explode. I was like, can we restrain ourselves to just actual human behavior and still make it funny? Because I think that's what Alan did so beautifully. He wrote all those characters so well in the original movie, and that was our goal, was to try to emulate what he did.
For me, what drew me to this, it was, when somebody calls and says, hey, Tina wants to know if you want to do this partner show, it's the easiest yes of all time. You know it's going to be so funny and so well written, and it's just always a special experience. So I was so excited when I heard that, and then you read the script and it's like, yeah, of course it's perfect, like you would imagine from something she's a part of. So yeah, it was the easiest yes of all time.
Amazing.
I didn't even have to read it, but I did.
Will can't read.
This is an adaptation. What was your intention when you first decided to sit down and think, can we make this a TV show?
Well, I think Tina has been like a fan of the movie for a very long time, and so it was sort of her spearheading the decision to adapt it. And I think we loved the structure, that you have 4 trips in 4 different seasons, and that seemed like perfect for a season of television. And I think we just knew that we needed to have like a bit more plot and like develop the characters a bit more. So we kind of just had to add a little meat to the bones of it. But it felt like pretty natural as a TV idea.
Yeah, when we started talking about it, I think the 3 of us were talking first just about Tina wanted to do a show that she would act in. So Lang and I were like, great, we'd love to write it. And I think all 3 of us were sort of the same mind, that we were like, we'd like to do something that, more than the other shows we've written before, felt a little more grounded, human scale, emotional, looked pretty, maybe took place somewhere pretty. That was sort of, the areas we were in. And then we were talking about different ideas, and Tina kept bringing up just as like a comp, what if it was like the Four Seasons? You know that movie, The Four Seasons? I love that movie, and it's about friendship and it's about marriage. I want it to be a show like that. And so finally, Lang and I were like, okay, maybe we should just like watch The Four Seasons. We're like, oh, let's do that. We should do that. And she, and I think it was a movie that's been close to her heart, like Lang was saying, for a long time. So, so then once we sort of knew we were going to do this new version of it, it felt kind of organic and natural to what we were looking to do anyway.
Had you guys seen the movie beforehand, and what did you know going in?
I'm sorry, I have to jump on this. I was 11 years old, and this movie, one summer, was on repeat. And my family was obsessed with Alan Alda anyway, and I must have watched this movie 30 times as a kid.
I think so too. Yeah.
And it was at that age, around 11 years old, felt like, I remember thinking, okay, this isn't Cannonball Run, but this isn't...
It's not Porky.
This isn't in terms of endearment,
Right.
But what is this? This is just real life. And loved Sandy Dennis, loved everybody from that movie. But then I befriended Alan Alda 15 years ago working on Wanderlust, and we stayed very close, and we have, we write each other letters, emails, but signed. He hand signs somehow his emails. But I have been obsessed with this movie and with Alan for as long as I had consciousness on this planet. So this is like full circle, such an honor. So scary, heightened stakes for that reason is besides Tina Fey, Steve Carell, Colman Domingo, Marco Calvani, Wolf. I mean, that alone, just knowing it was, Alan Alda's precious baby was a tall order.